Hi, people. What's going on? I have a message from Proverbs. Actually, this is the intro to what I'm going to do next. It's also a Proverbs. So, actually, this is just telling you about Proverbs and reiterating something to you about Proverbs so you can understand why I've been staying in Proverbs because that's where God's been keeping me right now. So, the purpose of Proverbs the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity, to give subtly, right, to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For thy shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. So that's Proverbs 1, verse 1 through 9. And this is what Proverbs is all about. It just tells you why you need Proverbs, why you should study Proverbs, why Proverbs should be important to you throughout your entire journey, entire life, whichever, you know. It comes and goes, but when you know the word, it stays. Proverbs to me is truth, definite truths, always. So God is saying to know wisdom and instruction and receive words of understanding. We already went over wisdom in another talk. To receive justice and judgment and equity. Now you know how to govern yourself. This is where you have to take responsibility and be a grown Christian, a grown person, where you have to understand that you are in charge of yourself. You have to keep yourself balanced. That's justice. Judgment. You have to keep yourself in order, meaning, what, check yourself. What I'm doing, is this right or not? No, this isn't right. So now you give yourself a talk. So that's your judgment. Always check yourself continuously. Once a week. Have I been tripping? What am I tripping on? Right. Now rebalance yourself. Straighten it out. And have an equity. Equity in this instance is within yourself. Yes, you'll gain things by following the Proverbs, but you have to work though. Right. You have to have a job. That's the only way you acquire things. Unless people just love giving you stuff. But to maintain, you still have to have a job. Yeah, I might give you a car, but I'm not about to, pay your gas, give you gas money all the time. Right. So, and that's another thing. You give a person a car and they don't have a job, now you're responsible for paying for everything for them. Or the car is just going to sit there. So, what you do is you give the car to a person who already has a job so they can have their own gas and they'll be calling you for nothing, and you don't have to pay their car insurance and things like that. So, also think about the gifts that you give. Does this person, do they have the tools to take care of this gift? I'm giving them a car, but they don't have a job, so that doesn't make any sense. I'm giving them a car and they don't have a license. That doesn't make any sense, right? So make sure your gift giving matches what that person is responsible with, right? To be discreet, to have discretion, right? We went over a lesson with that. Check that out. It's labeled. And your learning will increase and your understanding will increase. And you will be able to talk to people who are intelligent, people who you want money from, people who you need grants from, people who you even want to bring your own business to help them, right? Because just because you have a viable business don't mean other people want to get in with it on you, right? I mean, get in on it with you. So, it is also to help you with relationships. Proverbs helps you with your relationships because if you are governing yourself, you're being discreet, you are checking and balancing yourself on a regular at regular intervals, then you will be able to I don't know, that thought went on my head. I wonder why. But when you're governing yourself, you're checking and balancing yourself, then nothing but positive will happen for you. Meaning, God will always bring something to you. But then here comes the stank right along with it. So, I don't know why this lesson is going out of my head. What is going on? I have a little interference. That's cute. So now you get to see how I deal with interference while I'm trying to teach a lesson. Guess what? I'm not even around these people. Right. So here we go. Equity will help you to get what you need. Right. Equity, as far as me talking about your intelligence. You are equitable in intelligence, understanding, and wisdom, then you will be able to excel. You will be amongst the wise counsel. You will be looked at as or accepted or are sitting amongst those who make laws, who govern cities and states and things like that, who help you to get those contacts and money that you need. That's where I was going. I don't know why I do know. I just explained that. So governing yourself will put you amongst the stars, right? And I'm not talking about celebrity stuff. I mean people of importance. And once you're amongst people of importance, the Proverbs keeps you amongst people of importance. It helps you to maintain your seat amongst them, because you can be funny to get there, but to stay there, you have to know what you're doing. You have to be honest in all your dealings, and Proverbs teach you that. So if you're an honest business person, then God will always bring you more and more contacts. So your equity will definitely increase. So increase your equity with God, learning, wisdom, understanding, knowledge. Then God will increase your equity with people. People will trust you, will want to be around you, will want to give you things, and will accept things from you to help you upgrade and elevate. And then your equity with them will cause you to have that nice big mansion you want, or not. Maybe that nice boat you want. Whatever it is that you want, you'll be living like God intended you to live, which is wealthy. God intended all his children to be wealthy. He definitely did. There's too many resources on this earth for everyone to not be wealthy. It's just God said you don't deserve it. And then the last one that Proverbs will do is, like I was talking about, the relationships. Relationships with your family will be wonderful. They'll be wonderful. Because if everyone is following Proverbs, then everybody knows how to act. Then you can love each other and have fun with each other. Yeah, you still have your little spats, but for the most part, you'll be able to speak with each other, not screaming and hollering, and be able to deal with disagreements instead of arguments, right? You'll have disagreements instead of arguments. You'll have debates instead of boxing matches, right? So God teaches you how to humble yourself, settle yourself, and not fly out the handle every time somebody wants to get smart with you. So the Proverbs is excellent. Learn the Proverbs. It governs every area of your life. It really does. It really does. It teaches you, if you want to, how to humble yourself and how to get to the top, how to stay to the top, how to get that wealth, and how to keep your wealth. Because people get wealthy. A lot of people done been rich, and they poor as I don't know what right now. Their choices caused them to end up that way. If you were once wealthy and you're poor now, it was your choices, your personal choices that you made within your life, yourself. Even if somebody swindled you, you still made the choice to know that person, be around that person, give money to that person, give that person access to you, period. You have to watch who you give yourself access to, right? Who you give access to yourself, right? Because you're responsible for what happens to you, no matter what. It's your choice. Another person did it to you, you let them in your life. So stop projecting, stop blaming other people for your personal choices, your decisions. And Proverbs will help you do that. Proverbs will help you to have a great relationship with your parents, your husband, your children, yourself, first off. You have to have a great relationship with yourself, right? God first, then yourself, right? Then you can have a great relationship with other people if they are proverb equipped as well. Right? But if they're not proverb equipped, guess what? If they're just not even decent human beings, you still know how to deal with them. You stay away from them. You try your best to stay away from them. Sometimes we fall down and start acting like them and get real book just like them. I'm guilty, and I'm human, and I don't play that, and I'm going to still say that. Right, knuckle up. This is how I do. But that's when you pull yourself back, refocus yourself, rebalance yourself, and say, "Not and told him I clap, but I also told him to stay away from it." So I have to clap when necessary, but don't stay clapping, right? You remove yourself from that situation. And if people keep following behind you, well, you follow the proper channels. You get your restraining orders and things like that, right? That's how you protect yourself when they're in your physical, right? Spiritual, you ain't got to worry about nobody. That's just you letting people in, use with your crazy mind, right? Just say, "God, protect me, block these people out. You know I don't want nothing to do with them," and stay away. I'm a special case, but I don't talk about that, right? So, dear children, if you want success in your life, stop talking back to your parents. It doesn't matter if your parents are garbage, right? That's not your problem. That's God's problem. Still respect your parents, regardless. We all slip and say some stuff, right? But bring it back. Apologize to God, right? Repent, right? Do what you got to do. But if you really want full success in life, you have to respect your parents. You have to. Whether they're good parents or not, whether you like them or not. It's not your job to like your parents, first of all. They're your parents. Your job is to respect your parents, regardless. You don't have to like them. That's not your job. You never are supposed to like your parents, for God. They don't care, right? Most parents do not. Old school parents don't care if you like them. It's these new wave parents, right? It's these new wave parents, right? Or parents who had their children young. Now they got an old, now they having kids older. And the older kids looking like, "I know doggone well you ain't let that young get away with that. You broke my neck for that." Right. So these new wave parents need to definitely get into Proverbs because never mind. You definitely need to get into Proverbs. New wave parents. To save yourself and your children. Right. Right. Well, with that being stated, we went through Proverbs 1 through verse 1, chapter 1, verse 1 through 9. That's my introduction to what I'm going to do next. All right? Well, you have a great afternoon. And I hope you enjoyed lunch for those who had lunch with me. All right?